Caro-Kann defense, advance, short variation with 4.nf3, e6 5.b2 c5 6.b3. Intense. That was a serious game. White really outplayed black in that one. Both players had an amazing opening. It was a well-fought middle game that white got the better of. The players battled pretty evenly in the endgame. Sharp games are frequently the result of starting with the king's pawn, since it dominates the center and frees up the bishop and queen on the light squares. In the Caro-Kann defense, the pawns on d7 and d5 can be quickly pushed to take control of the center and engage the e4 pawn. The d4 square seizes the center and launches an assault on the e5 and c5 squares. The pawn on e4 is under attack from the center, where d5. e5 closes the center and controls the important d6 and f6 squares. bf5 develops the bishop where it controls the important e4 square. Black can play e7 e6 next, without trapping the light squared bishop on c8. nf3 develops the knight and defends the d4 and e5 pawns. e6 defends the d5 pawn and f5 bishop, and allows the dark squared bishop to develop. b2 develops the bishop, protects the knight on f3 and prepares to castle. c5 takes space in the center, attacks the d4 pawn and prepares to develop the knight behind the c pawn. b3 develops the bishop toward the center and supports the d4 pawn. This protects the attacked pawn. This develops a knight from its starting square, activating it. By doing this, a knight moves out of its beginning square and into the action. Castling gets the king to a safer square, out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Castling kingside tends to be safer because the king is further from the center. This threatens to win a queen. This defends a knight that was under attack and had no defenders. It is the last book move. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it? This ignores an opportunity to develop a rook off its starting square. It is a miss. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is ideal. This exchange is fair. It is ideal. Recaptures. It is ideal. This pins a knight, which restricts its mobility. This is the only good move. It is a great move. This defends a knight who is being attacked and is not well defended. That's good. This prevents the adversary from gaining an advantage. It is ideal. This activates a rook by developing it off of its starting square. This threatens to win a queen. It is best. It was a free pawn there. This poses a material threat. It is ideal. This can indicate that a pawn is being attacked. It is incorrect. This develops a knight from its starting square, activating it. It is ideal. This checks the king while also revealing an attack on a pawn. It is ideal. This evades the check from the knight. This is the only move that works. It is a great move. That pawn was available for free. It is ideal. The bishop is now in a secure position. It is ideal. The knight is now located at an outpost, a safe area inside the enemy's territory. It is ideal. As a result, the bishop may now control more squares because it is in a better position. This poses a risk of winning a pawn. It is ideal. Very precise. It is best. This accomplishes this by posing a threat to a rook and compelling it to flee. It is ideal. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This is the only good move. This threatens to win a rook. It is a great move. This keeps the material balance in check with good commerce. It is ideal. Backs off. This might indicate that a bishop was attacked. It is ideal. This leads to losing a pawn. This permits the opponent to reveal an attack on a bishop. It is a mistake. This exposes a bishop attack. It is ideal. This ignores an opportunity to recapture a piece. This allows the opponent to reveal an attack on a rook. It is an inaccuracy. This reveals an attack that poses a threat to a rook. It is ideal. This puts doubled pawns in front of the opponent's king, diminishing its safety and weakening the pawn structure. It is ideal. Backs off. It is ideal. The bishop is now on a square that is more secure. That's good. This activates a rook by getting it to the 7th rank and also restricts the opponent's king. This is the only move that works. It is a great move. This could have been done lot better. It is incorrect. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This is the only good move. It is a great move. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is ideal. Recaptures. It is ideal. The bishop is now in a secure position. It is quite good. Among the best actions. It is quite good. When a rook retreats, this attack wins a tempo. It is quite good. This is winning stuff. It is ideal. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. It was a free pawn there. It is ideal. This avoids the rook's check. It is ideal. That rook was available for free. White is ahead at this point in the endgame. It is ideal. A wise decision. It is quite good. A powerful play. It is quite good. That is a logical response. It is quite good. The moved pawn advances toward its objective. It is quite good. Among the best actions. It is quite good. Though not the best move technically, it was interesting. It is quite good. As a result, the bishop may now control more squares because it is in a better position. It is ideal. A passed pawn is pushed by this. It is ideal. A wise decision. It is quite good. The knight is thus brought to safety. It is quite good. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. It is quite good. A powerful play. It is quite good. By moving it from the back rank, this activates the king in the endgame. It is quite good. A pawn kicks the opposing knight, forcing it to move or risk being captured. It is quite good. The knight is now on a square that is more secure. It is ideal. That is a logical response. It is quite good. The moved pawn advances toward its objective. It is quite good. Among the best actions. It is quite good. While not the greatest course of action, this is an intriguing alternative. It is quite good. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. That was a truly amazing move. It is brilliant. Very precise. It is best. That was a great move and very hard to find. It is brilliant. A wise decision. It is quite good. That was a truly amazing move. It is brilliant. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. That bishop was open for business. It is ideal. This moves the checking rook farther away. It is ideal. That pawn was available for free. It is ideal. A powerful play. It is quite good. That's a sensible reply. It is excellent. Intense. That was a serious game. White really outplayed black in that one. Both players had an amazing opening. It was a well-fought middle game that white got the better of. The players battled pretty evenly in the endgame.